Today we're going to learn about percent of change. Percent of change is just the percent a value increases or decreases by. All right, well, a percent of increase is when the amount goes up. Okay, we have an original thing, the new one, from original to new, it would go up in value. For percent decrease, the amount would go down. Our formula for this is right here. So again, we use a proportion for our formula. All right, this is the book formula. We have the amount of change over the original equals the percent of change, or our percent. Percents always go over 100. All right, this is what I use though. All right, new minus old over old equals the percent over 100. All right, with that, an even easier way to remember this is just n minus o over o equals percent over 100. All right, what does that spell? N minus o over o? No! All right, just say no. All right, so let's look at a problem. A 120-pound man becomes 200 pounds. What is the percent change in his weight? Well, we're going from 120 to 200. So our old is 120 and our new is 200. So we have no, right? So n minus o, so we have 200 minus 120 over the old, which is 120, equals the percent over 100. All right, but 200 minus 120 is just 80. All right, now we have a regular proportion that we can just go ahead and solve for. 120x equals 80 times 100 will give us that. Divide by 120, we get x equals 66.6 repeating percent. If they ask you to round to the nearest percent, would that be 66 or 67? We would round up, right? 67%. And guys, is that an increase or a decrease? Going from 120 to 200. We increase, so we would call it that. Okay? Lee's history average in the first quarter was a 96%. The second quarter, his average was an 80. What was the percent of change? All right, first off, we're going from a 96 to an 80. Is this going to be an increase or a decrease? Yeah, it's going to be a decrease. So right away we can do that. Over here we knew it was going to be an increase. All right, so again, follow that. New minus old over old. No! All right, so we have 80 minus 96 over 96 equals x over 100. All right, 80 minus 96 is just negative 16. Now we go to solve this. We get 96x equals negative 1600. Divide by 96, we get x equals negative 16.6 repeating percent. All right, now the reason why we got a negative on this one is because it is a decrease. If you get a negative percent, that means it's a decrease. Positive percent means it's increase. However, you should know if it's an increase or decrease because of the definition. If the amount goes up, increase. If it goes down, decrease. All right, so you can leave it like that, or we can write 16.6% decrease. Okay? All right, so examples 1 and 2 are where we find the percent of change. You're either finding the percent increase or the percent decrease. On problems 3 and 4, we're going to find the new amount. On problem 3, we start at $350 and it's going to get increased by 7%. They want the new amount. So, remember how a new minus old represents the amount of change. So what we want to first look for is the amount of change. That's what we don't know, this top part. So x over the original is 350. Our percent is an increase, so it's positive 7, and percent always goes over 100. When we go to solve this, we get 100x equals 350 times 7. 350 times 7 will give us 2450. Divide by 100, we get x equals 24.5. All right, 24.5 is the amount of change. Here's the thing though, we have to increase the original by this amount. So if we're increasing from 350 and the change is 24.5, we need to add the amount of change to the original, to the old. So the new is 350 plus 24.5. So 350 plus that will give us, so that will give us 374.5. That is our new amount. Okay? So again, we solve for the n minus o, the amount of change. We find that, and then because we're increasing, we're going to add that to the original. Okay? I'm going to show you that same way to do that for number 4, but then I'm going to also show you one other option to use for 3 and 4. All right, for number 4, if we use the same exact way, we know that the percent is negative 60 over 100 because it's a decrease. Our original is 40, and we're looking for the amount of change. Okay? When I go to solve this, I get 100x equals negative that. Divide by 100, we get negative 24. All right, that's the amount of change. The original is 40, so now we just put these together. We're decreasing, so it's 40 minus 24, which will give us 16. 16 is the new number of employees. Okay? So those are probably the easier ways to do it. I'm going to show you kind of a way that's a little bit more algebra based on number 4. Another way that you can do it, so it's new minus old over old equals x over 100, or really it's percent over 100. So the new is what we're looking for. Minus 40 is the original over 40 equals negative 60 over 100. Now when I go to solve this, we use our cross products, that cross multiplication. I have this times that. In order to get 100 times that entire n minus 40, I'm going to have to use parentheses and then distribute. So it's 100 times n minus 40 equals 40 times negative 60 is negative that. Now to finish this off, 100 times that entire thing is going to be 100n minus that, negative 240, 2400, and then we just solve for n. I add 4,000 to both sides. I get 100n equals negative plus 4,000, 1,600, divide by 100, and I get n equals 16. So I got the same thing, all right? This one is a little bit more mathy, but it gets you the correct answer the first time. So it's up to you how you want to do these when you're given the percent change and you need to find the new amount. Okay? All right. Once you have this and you feel confident on the front, go ahead and start the back.